Hey guys, what's up? It's TJ, it's Tadpole Bearder here, and we're going to go over Iowa State's schedule and my predictions for the Iowa State Cyclones football team, which I think will be a very good team this year, and I think they'll bring a lot of great success to Iowa State football. So let's see what their 2018 season could be like. So week one, we've got Iowa State is in Ames. They open their season off at home against South Dakota State, an FCS football team, and they'll South Dakota State is third in the FCS, but they've played the Cyclones before and they lost, I believe 34-17 or something like that. But they haven't had that great success against the Cyclones. But I think that will be a good game in Ames. A great way for Iowa State to open their season, and I think the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State won't be able to compete with Iowa State. So I give the Jackrabbits a loss. I give the Cyclones a win here. I say a lot of good offense from Iowa State. And I think the Cyclones will be ready for them. I think that you could expect Iowa State to win by 17 or more, maybe 10 or more, but I really think Iowa State can really turn on the Jets in the second half. But I think they can really play a great game, and I think they're going to really want to open their season off to a really good start. And I say the Cyclones get that victory. 42-21. I think the score for that game will be. I think you could see maybe 14-7 South Dakota State, 14-14, 21-14 Iowa State, maybe 21-14 South Dakota State. One of those scores, But I really think Iowa State can open up the second half and put the Jackrabbits away. Week two, the Cyclones are in a bad place. They're in the worst city ever, Iowa City, Iowa. Very, very bad place there. But I think they get to play at Iowa, and they've not had their best success there, but they've had success there, and I think that's where Coach Campbell gets his first win over the Hawkeyes. Is in Iowa City. I think Iowa State will be focused for Iowa. I think they'll win, and Iowa State has lost 3 straight to Iowa. I don't see them losing the 4th straight to Iowa. I think they'll be ready for the Hawkeyes, and I think they'll be able to win this game. Now, last time Iowa State was last time Iowa State beat Iowa, they were in Iowa City. They won 20-17, but they were down 14-0 at one point, and they came back and won 20-17. And I just really think Iowa State's going to be maybe not the best of starts, but I think they'll be able to accomplish a lot against Iowa. And I say the Cyclones get a win at week 2. They go to 2-0 on the season. And great start from. I say they beat. I think they'll defeat the Hawkeyes, but I think it will be a close game, and I think it will be a good game. I say the Cyclones win 28-24 in Iowa City at Iowa. Week 3 is a tough game, but it's in Ames, so hopefully our fans can support the Cyclones and help them out. But they're against Oklahoma, week 3. And if you remember last year, Oklahoma was number 3 in the nation. They were at home to Iowa State, and they lost the Cyclones 38-31. I think the Cyclones can stun OU once again, and I think they can do it in Ames this time. I don't think the Sooners will be ready enough for teams like Iowa State. Losing Baker Mayfield, they got, and losing a couple of good players. I think the Cyclones, they've lost some good players, but they still have good players, and I think the Sooners just really are going to have a struggle trying to you know, find their way in getting better at football without Baker Mayfield and all those other good players. But I think the Cyclones can win over the Sooners in Ames. I think it's going to be a very good game. But don't expect Iowa State to crush Oklahoma. Don't expect Oklahoma to crush Iowa State. Don't expect Iowa State to beat Oklahoma. But, because I wouldn't be surprised if OU does pull it off. But I really think Iowa State can pull this one off against Oklahoma. I think they'll be ready, and I think I say the Cyclones put on a show in Ames against Oklahoma. I say they win 34-24 against Oklahoma, and they get a 3-0 start. That's really good to start 3-0. I don't think they've done that. They haven't done that in a long time. But I think they'll be able to beat the Sooners again for their second straight year, and I think they'll have a great game. Week 4, they're at home yet again. This time against non-conference opponent Akron. Last year, Iowa State beat Akron on the road, 41-14. I think it will be one of those cases again where Iowa State just knows how to play against Akron, and I think we'll see them, crush Akron. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a halftime Iowa State, maybe tied, maybe down, maybe letting it a little close. But I really think second half they'll open it up, and I think Coach Campbell can get them to level down and to beat Akron, and I think they'll play a very good game. I think the Cyclones, I think ISU wins 49-28. They go to 4-0. That's really good. 4-0 start. That's really good. And your one known conference. That's really good. You win your first conference game. That's big. But I say the Cyclones are 4-0, and I think they can beat Akron. I think they can beat Oklahoma and Iowa and South Dakota State. Now the rest of their games, now it's against the conference. And this time, week 5, they're at TCU. I think they're going to lose this one. Unfortunately, Iowa State will lose to TCU, I think. And I think TCU will be able to keep Iowa State from beating them there again. And I think the Horned Frogs are going to be focused, and I think they're going to be coming off of a loss at home. I think maybe week 2, week 3, wherever they lose at home. I think they'll lose, and then I think they'll want to get back and win their next home game. And I think they'll be able to beat Iowa State, unfortunately. But I think the Cyclones will play a very good game. But I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes down to the final drive of the game, or even in overtime. And I think this Cyclones will stumble and lose 31-24. I think TCU is just going to be good enough to be able to compete with Iowa State this time. And I think Iowa State's going to have their first conference loss and their first loss of the season, so they'll go to 4-1 after this loss. But I think they'll play a very good game. Week 6, they're at Oklahoma State. If you remember last year, Iowa State, blew the lead against the Cowboys, maybe a couple times, but they lost by a touchdown to them, and I think that will be that could be the case this year. I think the Cowboys will get another good game against Iowa State. I think they'll be ready for them on their home field, but I really think there will be strong defense from both teams. But I think Oklahoma State will have the stronger defense, and I think they'll be able to beat Iowa State this time. I think we'll see back-to-back losses for Iowa State football entering halfway through the season. I think the Cowboys win this one, but barely. I think I think Iowa State will be able to keep up with them, but I just don't think it will be enough to beat Oklahoma State. I say the Cowboys score 24 and Iowa State only scores 21, and Oklahoma State wins this one 24-21. Iowa State goes to 4-2. So yeah, I'll mark Oklahoma State or Iowa State with a loss at the Cowboys, and they're 4-2. Okay, now Iowa State's at home. They're coming off of 2 losses. Do you think Matt Campbell is going to get his team focused? Yes, he's going to do that. He's going to tell them, we've lost 2 straight. We've lost to 2 good teams. We've got West Virginia. This is a good football team too. West Virginia usually has pretty good football, and I think that will be the case for the Mountaineers this season. But I really think Coach Campbell isn't going to let his team lose its 3rd straight. I really think he's going to have his team level down, and I think they're going to sustain the mighty Mountaineers. And I think Iowa State does pull this one off in Ames.